What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life. That's right, man. I'm the author of this gem of a book here that tells you full transparency of all the mistakes that I've seen people make in my last 28 years of law enforcement. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, as I like to say, guys. But I'm coming at you with my daily podcast on Spotify, on YouTube, and starting next month, I'll be going live at least once a week with these podcasts. So we got a lot going on here. And believe it or not, today's podcast, I had a different podcast scheduled for today. And something crossed my mind that I wanted to talk to you guys about because, guys, listen, I love being transparent. I love talking about my mistakes because, as I told you guys time and time again, you have to strengthen your don't give a shit muscle. You have to strengthen that muscle, man. And that means that, if you fail at something and you think you're too embarrassed to tell people about it, tell them about it. Hey, listen, I failed. So what? This is me trying to do more, trying to be better, trying to become better. And you guys have to start doing that, right? Stop valuing other people's opinions about your life. And you just keep pushing forward, right? I always tell people, if you don't have haters, then that just means you're not doing anything, right? The best way to not get criticized in life is to stand still. Don't do anything, right? Don't even be noticed, right? So like when my dog goes to the bathroom on the ground and I'm telling her, hey, what are you doing here? And she looks off into the wilderness as if I don't see her, so anyway, that is what is going on, guys. You got to stop valuing everybody's opinion. Everybody doesn't deserve a seat at the table. You get me? Everybody doesn't deserve a seat at the table, okay? Some people just don't bring anything. So why are you going to give them a seat at the table, right? So anyway, in today's podcast, being that it is totally, completely offbeat of anything that I was planning on talking about, is that I was on the phone for a long time today, right? I was on the phone with the bank today. And it was for, I don't know whether any of you have ever experienced this in your life, an overdrawn bank account. That's right. I had an overdrawn bank account, right? And it's something I haven't had in a long time. So when I saw the alert and then the email about it, I'm going, what bank account is this, right? And so it was an account that should have been closed, I'm saying 2 years ago, when the bank informed me that they were no longer going to be servicing the type of business account that I had, right? So I moved all of my resources to a different bank who then better served my business account. And so the bank never closed my account. And so I had some, I don't know, probably a couple of $100 in the bank account, right? And every single month, the bank was charging me. And I guess that's why it took 2 years, right? Every single month, the bank was charging me $15 for not having the $5,000 limit that you have to have in the business bank account, right? So they were charging me $15 a month for nothing, just for my money sitting there. And even though this account was supposed to be closed, right, because it was still money in that account, they continued to charge me over and over and over again until, right, they absorbed the entire $200. They absorbed the entire $200, and then they turn around and then continue to charge me to just the overdraw the account, right? So I had to go. I was on the phone with the bank all day. Had to still pay the fee, right? Still pay the fee. They ended up cutting me some type of deal, they said, right? They cut the fee in half. Yeah, you cut the fee in half. You charge me well over $200 over 2 years of a bank account that was supposed to be closed 2 years ago. And so I ended up having to find some paperwork to show him, and they wanted to know whether I had a recording of the conversation. It was a bunch of ridiculous stuff. But anyway, I was totally bothered by it. I wasn't upset because if they would have gave me back the money, it was found money because I forgot about the bank account myself. But it is important, guys, to pay attention to your finances, right? It is important to pay attention to the finances. Don't open too many accounts, and if you do open several accounts, make sure that you have a good accountability of where your money is going and who is using your money. So now, I want to tell you guys this, and the reason why I'm talking about this and the fees and everything else that the bank charges you. On all my other accounts, the bank charges me fees, right? So I'm not a person who doesn't get charged fees at the bank, and so I was upset about it. It's just that I thought the account was closed. But let's get into this, guys. Let's get into this really good. The bank is always using your money. Always using your money. And this is the point I want to make in today's podcast, right? They keep your money in circulation, right? As soon as you put your money in your bank account, the bank is using it for some investments or whatever they're gonna do with it. And I don't care whether you put $100 in the bank account or $100,000 in the bank account, the bank is using your money. They lump it all together and they make investments, and they move the money around and they circulate it, and they do whatever they can to bring more money into the bank, right? So they're not making the big money off of your fees, but they do make lots of money off of bank fees every month just for you holding your money in the bank account and it being insured. So they charge you basically insurance fees every month for protecting your money, right? Up to, like, I believe $250,000. So the bank is charging you every month, and they're keeping your money in circulation. And my question is, why can't you? Why can't you circulate your own money? Right? I always tell people that it starts with you making an important decision. Right? The important decision is you should only have a certain amount of money sitting idle in a bank account. A certain amount of money sitting idle in a bank account, and any more than that, you are doing yourself a disservice, right? You're doing yourself a huge disservice. And how can you start doing that? How can you start to circulate your money and use your money to the best of your ability? Now, I'm not here to give you some type of finance course or anything like that. I don't have a degree in finance or accounting or anything like that. I'm just telling you guys mistakes that I've made with my money, and that you guys at all costs need to avoid this mistake. Now, I've made this mistake for years and years and years of allowing the bank just to hold on to my money and me trying to gain a little bit of interest, as my money goes into the bank, right? And so when I thought I was a little more advanced, I moved my money into a money marketing account, right? When I thought I was a little more advanced than that, maybe I did some CDs, right? When I thought I was a little more advanced than that, maybe I did a 401k, right? And so I'm telling you guys that all of that money sitting in the bank, you get charged so many fees that you really don't make out with your money sitting there. Every year, as your money sits in the bank, you lose money. Period. You lose money every year that your money sits in the bank. So you need to be investing your money into assets, things that grow, right? And in order to do that, what do you have to do? And I've seen this in a lot of people, and I've seen this in myself in most of my younger years until I got squared away by a good mentor who I truly respected. And he told me to stop buying things to soothe my insecurities, right? Stop buying things to soothe my insecurities, as well as, right? He said, trying to impress people that don't give a crap about me. So he told me to do that. And he said it a whole lot more harsher than that, guys. I just want to say that, right? So if I stop buying things to soothe my insecurities, and my insecurities were, out of all the people that I saw, Instagram, Facebook, and videos that I was seeing, people driving nice cars, I was trying to impress people, right? I was trying to impress people and trying to make them think I was more than actually who I was, right? And when you do that, believe it or not, in your head, you know that you are not that person. So internally, you begin to beat yourself up, right? Because now you're literally lying to yourself. Excuse me. God bless me. Thank you. So you're literally lying to yourself. So you begin to break yourself down as a person who is not honest with himself. And so when you stop doing that, right, now you start to be honest with yourself. So he told me what I needed to start doing was leveraging my credit by buying assets, right? So that pay me instead of me using things that depreciated and rusted and rotted, over time. And so when I began using my credit to buy assets, believe it or not, the banks were willing to lend me more money, and other lending agencies saw me as a secure, a good risk as far as credit was concerned, because I was using my credit to buy things that paid me back, right? And that began to change how I used my money. So now I started to just use my money, right, to just buy assets instead of things. So I don't currently have a lot of things. I don't drive a super nice car. I don't have like really, really expensive stuff. But I have assets that are paying me every month, so that even when things are bad and times get hard and I don't have my regular working income, I still have some form of income, some form of money coming in. And I think that helped me dramatically during the pandemic, right? I always had money coming in during the pandemic every month to pay my bills somehow miraculously without working anywhere for almost a year and a half. I'm going on 2 years now. So that's important. So when my mentor told me that, and I took that to heart, and it's paid dividends over and over again. And by the way, I just want to say once again, guys, cash in the bank, right, is not an asset for you. Just because you have $250,000 sitting in a bank account, you cannot call that an asset, right? Believe it or not, $250,000 sitting in a bank, not moving, not working for you, is more of a liability, because every month you get charged bank fees, and interest gets charged toward your taxes and everything else. We're not going to get into all that, because I'm not here to give you a finance class. I'm just telling you some of the mistakes that I made, and to help you to get over those mistakes and not make those same mistakes, right? So let's get out of money, right? And talking about money, let's move on to the fact that I want you guys to understand this. And this is what hit me today, which made me to lead into today's podcast. This same concept can be used to sort out who needs to be in your circle of influence / your friends, right? Who needs to be around you, right? Use the same concept of when I talked about banking and money, right? How the bank uses you. As soon as you contribute something, they take it and they run with it and circulate it. All right. What people do you need in your circle of influence, right? You must begin to make a clear distinction of your friends who are quality investments, right? Your friends who are quality investments, and your friends who are liabilities or / bills, right? And you know, guys, what I'm talking about when I say friends who are investments and friends who are liabilities. You know, you have certain friends and certain people that come into your life, and you say to yourself, maybe not to them, right? That person is a keeper, right? That person has quality conversations, right? That person has just good things to bring to the table, and they bring good vibrations and not a lot of negativity, right? I've had some friends in my life that every time I hear their voice, I know there's something negative is about to come out of their voice, right? And I've been friends with those people for years. I'm talking 20, 30 years I've been friends with those people, and I make sure that I didn't cut them off and say, hey, you're no longer my friend, don't call me anymore. But I make sure that I limit the amount of time that they get to speak to me. And definitely, I do not spend time around them. Their vibration and their energy is toxic. So I keep toxic people out of my life at all costs. And you need to be doing the same, right? So those quality investment friends, you need to start breaking down your friends and people who are around you, people who are quality investment and people who are liabilities, right? Those liabilities need to slowly be eliminated. Each year, you need to make sure that you eliminate, 2 or 3 friends that are liabilities or bills, and replace them with investments, friends that are investments, friends. And what do I mean by investments? Okay, as with assets, right? These friends serve up quality relationship. This is quality relationships, right? That not only do they challenge your limits by being high achievers or just wanting more out of life, right? That type of person. But also, they provide good counsel to you in your time of need, right? We all need friends that when we're going through something, because life is not smooth, we know that, right? We need friends that when they are around us and we're going through something, that we can talk to them and they don't give us no crazy advice, right? They tell us what they know, what they've experienced, or even better, they just listen and let you work through it yourself, right? That's a quality friend. That's a keeper. That's an investment, guys. And you have to start surrounding yourself with a lot more assets and a lot fewer liabilities. That is how you need to start doing, guys. And if you do that, I'm telling you, over the years, you will have a circle of influence so powerful that you can't do anything but begin to succeed in life, right? It is that energy and that vibration that's always around you all of the time, that positivity, okay, and the element of being around high achievers that makes you want more out of life. And it makes you want to give more out of life, right? I always tell people, if you are an individual who wants to give more, then you have to become more. And in order to become more, you have to want more out of life. Okay, so that drive is going to start moving you forward and forcing you to add things to yourself to make you good things to be attracted to you. Okay, that's what I basically mean to say. Now, this was not the original intent of tonight's podcast episode, right? But it came to my mind because I was coming up on that time of year where I go through my cell phone, right? Me and one of my best friends, we do this every year and we talk about it, where I go through my cell phone and all the names of my cell phone, right? I start erasing the names of the people who no longer belong in my circle of influence, right? And it is usually who I call each and every day, who I communicate with each and every day. And if I haven't called you in 6 months, then you're on the elimination rack, right? You're on the elimination rack of somebody I need to take off of my list of people that I need to talk to, right? So that's what I do. I begin to take names. I just delete them right out of my phone. I grab my phone up, right? I pull up my contact list, and I start at A, and I go through all the A's, and all of the A's who I haven't talked to in 6 months or who no longer belong in my circle of influence. I delete them as contacts. I delete them as contacts. Now here are the science behind why I delete them as my contacts. I do this, right, so that when they call, which is usually when they need something, right, the call is silenced, right? So all my unknown callers, the call is silenced, right, and it goes straight to my voicemail, right, my generic voicemail, and so I don't really look at my voicemail. Maybe once a month when it's full, I look at my voicemail and I go through it and I review it at a later date. And that stops a lot of the negative energy from even reaching me, because I have that additional filter of, if you're not in my phone contacts, my number is not going to ring. My phone's not going to ring. So, and by the way, if you send me a text and I don't recognize the number, it also goes in another file of a general file in my text messages, where I don't see them on my screen when I pull up my phone. So that's important too. And that's just a filter that I use to help me to start to weed out people who don't belong in a circle of influence. And I need you guys to do the same thing if you plan on having a better life, right? Now the reason I do this is, it is about the value I place on my time and my relationships, right? So if I value my time and my relationships, I don't allow people who don't belong in my circle of influence to take up any of my time, especially the quality time that I'm going to be spending with quality people who I like to be around, who help me to grow and I help them to grow, and maybe I mentor them or they mentor me or whatever. These are quality relationships that help me to grow and build and to just become more than what I currently am. You always need to be growing, guys, and the moment you stop growing is the moment you need to reevaluate the relationships that you're in. Your relationship that you're in should always be pushing you just slightly beyond your comfort zone. Okay? Always have that urge to do just a little bit more, push yourself a little bit more, until you just can't do anymore. And that is how you end up looking back later on and saying, I had a really high quality life, and I am really proud of myself that I continually try to achieve more and more and more. Listen, when we all close our eyes for the last time, you are going to have tons of things that you have not finished, and that is important, guys. And I'm not talking about things that you did not do. I'm talking about you've done tons of stuff and you still had tons of things slated to do when you take your last breath, guys. That is powerful. That means that you never stopped growing. You never stopped doing. You never stopped building quality relationships, and you always valued your time, right? And okay, the reason why I'm saying this is because this, right? I wanted to ask you guys a question. What value do you place on your time? Right? Do you have things scheduled out? And some people schedule things out minute for minute, right? And they think that they're doing high quality stuff. But I found that if you put it in blocks instead and allow some leeway for things to happen, you still get a lot of things done, right? But the person who just allows time to pass and they just jump into things here and jump into things there, they don't value time the same way as a person who schedules their days, a person who has a plan for tomorrow, a person who has a plan for what they're going to do when they get up in the morning, so they're not guessing what they have to do in the morning. Putting a value in your time is so important, because when it comes to time, it is something you can't get back, right? You can't get back time. It is what it is, right? And to top it off, right? No one knows exactly how much time we're going to get, right? We don't know how much time we're going to get. It is a bank account that you have no idea when it is going to be immediately empty. So it is a bank account abundantly full, but at any given moment, your account can be closed, guys. Just like that, right? So you have to spend it and spend it well. Spend it on assets, spend it on things, okay, that are quality. Quality investments, quality people. And when I speak about quality people, what value do you place on your relationships, guys? Talk about that. When it comes to people you allow to get close to you, right? And I'm talking about people you allow to see your vulnerabilities. I'm telling you guys, you better be 100% sure, right? 100% sure of the access that these people are allowed, because the wrong person can set you back decades in your life, guys. Decades, the wrong person can set you back. So you have to pay attention and place a high value on your time and your relationships, guys. Listen, this is Lieutenant Sal Blue, and I want you guys to understand that when I talk about these mistakes, right, and solutions to these mistakes, these are things that I've already done in my life. These are mistakes that I've made, and I have seen the light. And I understand that the only way to change my past, which I cannot do, is to help someone else, okay, have a better future by not making the same mistakes that I made, right? So I'm not changing what happened to me, but I'm using the pain and heartache of what happened to me as, instead of pain and heartache that beats me up, I'm using it as fuel and value to help other people to achieve a better life. So you guys get out there. You live life to the fullest. You value time every day, and you make sure, no matter what, you have a quality relationship and a circle of influence that is powerful around you at all times, guys. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue. I want you guys to make sure you hop on over to lieutenantsalblue.com. Pick up your free copy of my top 25 mistakes en route to the good life, second edition. I am autographing all of these that I sent out, guys. So make sure that you pick up your copy today. Click on the link, pick up your copy today at lieutenantsalblue.com. If you pick it up on Amazon, just send me a DM on any of the social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and let me know that you purchased my book, and I will send you an autographed copy, guys, for free. That's right. So listen, that's it for today, man. We're going to wrap it up with making sure that you have quality time and quality relationships. Value them both, guys. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great night, all right? Deuces.